Hi guys and welcome back. So today is Sunday and it is a chilly spring day, spring morning, almost spring afternoon. It's almost noon and my husband's been on his yearly golf trip, so I figured I would film. I am going to use the Morphe James Charles palette again. I just wanted to try out more shadows. My last video, which I will link right here, I used the James Charles palette. I wasn't really a fan in the beginning when I was doing the shadow. One of the shadows just wasn't giving it to me. So I kind of wanted to do another video with the James Charles palette and go a completely different direction. So if you want to see what I come up with, then keep on watching. I have a wild hair up my ass to start with my face. Usually I start with my eyes, but today I'm going to start with my face. I am already primed. I use the Cover FX Blurring Primer and my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water, the usual suspects. So I'm going to jump right into foundation, and I'm going to use the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. Haven't used this bad boy in a while. I think the reason I don't mind starting with my face today is because the palette didn't give me a lot of fallout, at least the shades that I used. I used about 7 shades in the palette, but yeah, it really didn't give me a lot of fallout. So when that's the case, I don't necessarily mind starting with the face. So I think that's one reason I don't mind starting with the face. I'm bringing it back to my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind concealer. I haven't used this, I feel like, in so long because I'm so stuck on the e.l.f. Camo concealer. That's such a good concealer. But this was talking to me today, so I'm gonna use her today. The only thing I don't like about the about the e.l.f. concealer is that it dries down so quickly, and if you don't tap it out quick enough, it almost sets, like completely sets to where you can't move it. That is literally the only thing I don't like about it. As far as everything else, it doesn't crease, it doesn't move, especially once you set it with powder. It lasts all day. It's such a good formula. I think if I had to choose, this is my next favorite. Although I don't find the coverage to be, like, that's the other thing, the e.l.f. concealer is so full coverage. This doesn't have as thick of a consistency, but I think that's why I like it, because it doesn't look as heavy under my eyes. But they're both good concealers, and they're both from a drugstore, so I feel like you can't really go wrong with that. Now I'm going to set all that with the Too Faced Ethereal Setting Powder. I don't know what it is, but lately I've been setting with a brush instead of my beauty blender. And I think it looks much better because I don't have the smoothest under eyes. So I feel like this kind of just is enough for me without it, like, it doesn't make it look so heavy and cakey under my eyes. Because sometimes I can look way older. It's so weird that it does it. But I can look so much older if I do have too much concealer on. Like, older, not in a good way. Like, older as in, like, crusty. I just spit everywhere. Oh my god. Like, crusty and cakey. Just not a good look. But with the brush, I don't know, it just distributes it. And I've never been a baker under my eyes. I mean, I've done it, but I don't find it necessary for me. I don't know, there's something about a brush. And I love this brush. This is a Sigma Taper highlighter brush. It's a F35. And I just think it's perfect. It's a little pointed taper brush. It fits perfectly under the eyes. I love this brush. All right, now that everything is set, I am going to move on to my eyes. And hello, just smack my face with the palette. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the Morphe James Charles palette. Okay, so I I just did a whole eye look and I hated the way that it turned out. I didn't like it. It's something that I know I wouldn't be proud of putting out. So I took all the eyeshadow off and I'm starting over. And of course it had to be on a day where I did my full face first, of course. Why wouldn't it happen any other way? So I'm going to go in with the yellow shade and start to pack that on right into my crease, a little bit above. I don't know why I just didn't listen to myself. I don't know why. I'm going to take this really light pink shade right here, right by the bright pink, and just diffuse that yellow just on the edges a little bit. Now I'm going to take some of this shade right here and start to put that in my outer V. I'm going to go back in with a little bit of yellow. I'm so afraid my mic's going to cut off because the battery's almost dead. But anyway, I'm just going to add some more here. And then I'm just going to pack some of that white shade just on the inner corner. You know, the best white matte shade I've ever used is from the Anastasia Riviera palette. I might grab some of that. Hold on. Now this white matte is crazy. The white matte up here, ooh baby. Ooh yeah. See the difference? Wow, I need a brush. I'm gonna go back in and just blend these two a little bit. Now for my lower lash line, I think I'm gonna take some of this shade right here. I might mix these two a little bit just to see maybe that on the outer corner and this more on the inner corner. Now I'm taking the other shade. Which is kind of what I did in my last video. I took a blue and a green. The green in this palette I love, and it was calling my name. Which is why I had to use it. Then I'm just gonna go in and blend. I'm gonna pop some of this in the inner corner. I'm gonna add a little bit. I think I'm gonna tone it down with this shade right here. Yeah, that helps. I'm gonna go ahead and go off camera, put my lashes on, do my brows, and be right back. For mascara, I'm gonna use the Benefit Roller Lash. Okay, finally moving on to bronzer after 2 hours. I'm going to use my new favorite Wet n Wild bronzer in the shade Sunset Striptease. Yesterday, before my husband left for his golf trip, usually they go on a fishing trip, but this year they decided, trying to look in the mirror. But this year, all the guys decided to go on a fishing trip instead, or I mean a golf trip instead. So he was in here, like in my beauty room. Well, it's like a big closet room, so all his clothes are on that side, all my stuff's on this side. And then this is where I film. And like my beauty, like desk with all my makeup and stuff is legit like right here. So he was in there looking for tweezers or fingernail clippers or something while I was in bed. So it was not last night, but the night, it was Friday night. Looking for stuff, and all of a sudden I hear a big crash. I'm like, oh my god, what's going on? He had pulled out a drawer where I have all my like tools like my tweezers, scissors, fingernail clippers, stuff like that in it. And the whole thing, the drawer below that with all my, so I have all my lip products on one side and all my eye products on the other side. That drawer went crashing. So like there's stuff everywhere. So just now when I went to go look for my Anastasia Brow Wiz, it's nowhere to be found. I could not find it. I'm like, oh my gosh, where did that go? So I'm like in panic mode. I found my brow definer, which I'm not a huge fan of, but that's what I did a majority of my brow with until I finally found my Brow Wiz. Now for blush, I'm going to go in with my Tarte Color Wheel palette. I'm going to mix maybe a couple of these with a couple of these. For highlight, I'm actually going to go in with Becca Cosmetics Champagne Pop. Still never bought a new one because it's been broke probably a long time. It's been broke a long time. Now I'm going to spray my face with the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. Okay, so while my face is still drying, I'm going to line my lips with the NYX Lip Liner in Natural. I'm going to see how this looks. This is a Smashbox lipstick in Spectacle. It's like an orangey lipstick. Okay guys, so this is it for this look. It's so funny because the original look I was going to do in my head, I didn't do at all whatsoever. The first look I hated. This look I'm actually, come back boys. I'm actually liking a lot. I'm getting peach vibes with it, which peach is one of my favorite makeup looks to do. It just so happened that this is how it turned out. We have the yellow going into the orange with the peach. I'm really, really liking this look. One thing I'm noticing about this look that I didn't notice before is that it's all matte. I did an all matte look. I never do all matte looks. I always incorporate some kind of shimmer, like all the time in almost all my looks. I also like how soft this look is. The pigment isn't just like bam in your face like I usually do. It's blended out so much that it just gives this really nice, soft, subtle look about it. I'm really liking that. That is it for this video. If you guys liked it, please give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And I will see you on my next one. Thanks for watching.